Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of the charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We will set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there are 2 assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me today. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there in the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please come forward to the podium. Joshua Reinhardt.
Thank you. Turn down to the stage.
Morning, Mr. Reinhardt. What's your date of birth?
March 7th, 1980.
Mr. Reinhardt, there are 5 counts this morning. I have 4 counts of sexual battery by a person of familial custody or authority, 1 count of lewd or lascivious exhibition. There's probable cause for those 5 counts. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll need a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Your Honor, this seems to be Mr. Reinhardt's first contact with law. However, the charges are so serious, and then prison sentences are mandatory in a case like this.
Okay. But I think we're required to set some sort of a bond, right?
Yes, we'd ask that it would be extremely high, in the 6-figure range. Also, condition of bond being the GPS motion.
Very good.
And no contact, obviously.
Right. Joshua, I have an address for you on Old Mill Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
I'll be over a year.
And you have a job these days?
Oh, yes. I'm actually supposed to be working doubles all week this week.
Okay. Where do you work?
Guido's. It's a restaurant off of 4 Stokes and 19.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do on the 4 counts of sexual battery, I'm going to set the bond at $50,000 on each count. For the exhibition charge, $20,000. Condition of the bonds are these: 1, that you'll have no contact of any kind with JC. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact through any social media. You don't go wherever she lives. You don't go wherever she might go to school. You have no contact of any kind. It means no contact if she wants to contact. If you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. The same goes for Kayla. No contact of any kind under the same conditions. You also, in addition to that, while these charges are pending, will have no contact with any human being under the age of 18 years. And if you do bond out, you'll be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense. Your case will be back for arraignment on the 27th of December. If you're able to bond out, you should go and see the public defender right away. If you're unable to bond out, the public defender is going to visit with you at the jail before your court hearing, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Ms. Daly. Sarah Davy. Morning, Sarah. What's your date of birth?
9/13/93.
All right, Sarah, I got two new charges. I've got a grand theft auto and a possession of drug paraphernalia. And then it appears you're also currently on probation. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we have a probable cause arrest for the violation of probation. There's probable cause all the way around. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Sarah, on the violation of probation case, the bond, of course, is going to be no bond. That case will be back on the 18th of December. Looks like they might have told you the 27th. The right date is the 18th. Public defender is going to come see you before then. On the two new charges, I will leave those bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the GTA and $1,000 on the paraphernalia. Of course, you can't bond out because of the VOP in any event. I will move those charges also to the 18th of December, so all your cases are coming back on the same day. And like I said, the PD will come see you before you go to court, okay?
Okay,
Thank you. Jamie Basile. Jamie, what's your date of birth?
1/19/88.
Jamie, the charge is battery. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, I only see one out-of-state resisting charge from 2011 with the disposition of guilt.
Okay. And Jamie, I had an address for you on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
No, I'm a mother. I have a 1-year-old at home.
Okay. All right. And Jamie, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact. Looks like it was your dad, allegedly. Did you hear
No.
me? No?
It's, my daughter's father.
Daughter's father. There it is. Okay. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Can you understand that?
Yes.
In addition, you need to know that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He might go to the state attorney's office and request that they drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who's handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you must assume they're not dropped, and you must not have contact. I also have to hold you today at the jail up until 4 p.m., so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction.
Okay.
I'll have you back in court on the 20th of December. If you get out, make sure you go see the public defender right away. And then finally, as far as the Broad Street address goes, as long as he's staying there, you'll have to stay someplace else. You can go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. But to do that, you've got to contact law enforcement first. They'll meet you there with a deputy or an officer who'll stand by while you collect your things and get going where you're going. All right?
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She has a writing today to Judge Ruby for DUI and failing to change address.
Oh, she does?
That's what I'm showing. I
Okay.
don't know if you want to put that date, the other case on that day.
I have a note to ask for a recommitment order on that case as well.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know the details, so I probably have to.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's send this paperwork over this morning, and then let Shannon Marie know. And if she wants to talk to Judge Rupi about recommitting on the DUI, they can sure do that, since that case is over there anyway.
Well, the new case is a felony,
Oh.
so we can't send it to Judge Rupi.
Oh. Okay, well,
It's a
Gail just
criminally-
told me it was in front of Judge Rupi for arraignment.
Okay, let me go and look at the whole document. It does say Judge Ruby. I want to see if it's upended or.
Did they open the DUI thing?
No. The paperwork for today's case
Oh,
is a felony.
this is not felony.
So we can't.
I'm showing.
Oh, I can't send it next, this is a felony?
This is a felony.
Jamie Siciliano. Is that
Oh,
what
Jamie
No.
Bazile.
Bazile.
Bazile. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a CT case.
No, this is a CT case. Okay,
Okay.
so do you want to send this over to Judge Rupi today?
Right.
That's fine,
And
sorry.
then Shannon Marie can ask for the RCO on the CT case if that's what the state wishes to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we're all on the same.
I have two Jamies, both that have RCO requests today.
Jennifer Buchanan. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
320 of 79.
All right, Jennifer, I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge in Pasco County who issued this warrant apparently failed to appear on some misdemeanor charges. The judge set the bond at $20,013. Unfortunately, I can't change that bond. If you're able to post that bond here, you can get out of jail here, go down to Pasco, find out when they want you in court. If you do not have the ability to post that bond, Pasco will have 5 days to come and get you. It does not take 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you were still here 5 days from now, they'd bring you back to see me, and I'd find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jamie Siciliano.
This is the other Jamie that I was going to ask for RCO on.
Want to miss what's your date of birth?
12/29/78.
All right, Jamie, this morning we have criminal use of personal identification and fraudulent use of a credit card pursuant to a warrant signed by Judge Toner. So he found probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself and hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Okay. Now, state, she was at first appearance, I think, Monday maybe.
Okay.
So she's got something pending somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. A misdemeanor case, petty theft, second.
Okay. What other history then?
She has forgery, false name to law enforcement, driving on a suspended from 2001, grand theft from 2008, worthless checks, several of them from 2008, trespassing from 2011, petty theft from 2013, introduction of contraband from 2014, cocaine possession and driving on a suspended from 2016, more forgery charges from 2016, and I think that's all I see, Judge, other than what's currently pending at this time.
Jamie, where you been staying lately?
Post court.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sure. Thank you.
Leave the bonds per the schedule on these, which is $2,000 each. These are also going to come back on the 27th of December. Get out, go see the PD, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
She was arrested on that misdemeanor. He said Monday. It's still showing up.
Oh, she was here earlier this week. I don't even remember that much.
Okay, probably was. Thank you.
I remember the name as well.
Corinne Granberg. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
1382.
And you are here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on a charge of possession of controlled substance. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Judge Toner set your bond at $4,000. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see him on the 18th of December. They may have told you December 27th. It'll be the 18th. If you get out, you should go see the public defender right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Maria Lascaris. Maria, what's your date of birth?
4477.
Okay. State, did you look at this this one?
I did.
Can you help me understand what they were trying to charge her with? It looks like obstruction.
Accessory because she was hiding somebody who apparently
Had
had
an
a warrant.
FDA.
Huh? So Mellon, who's also on for today, has an FTA warrant.
And they were there to pick him up.
Right.
My assumption is they wanted to charge her with resisting without. I don't think they can prove it, but I think that's what they wanted to charge her with.
Well,
When you hide somebody who has a felony warrant.
it's obstruction.
Yeah. I mean, we'll
We'll
have legal argument on whether or not she actually
it's an
obstructed.
FTA, so it's not principal to the felony, unless you're talking about the crime of FTA, which of course isn't charged or even alleged so far. It struck me as strange because normally the principle would be had he committed a felony and she was hiding him and then they came to arrest him and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
When you
It's resisting without is what they were going for, I think, because it, like you said, it's not related to the actual underlying felony. It's related to the FTA warrant. Now, we'll have legal argument as to whether or not she actually obstructed their investigation or not, but that's for later. But I think
that's not for me for first appearance.
Right. I think that is the proper charge at the time. At this time would be resisting without.
Okay, and does she have any significant history, Steve?
No, she really doesn't. She's got petty theft from 2012, and that's pretty much it. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna, I guess, split the baby a little bit. Maria, I've got an address for you. I don't have an address. Where you been staying?
4274 Candler,
Okay.
Candler,
All right.
Avenue, Spring Hill.
And do you have a job these days?
No, no.
Okay. And you want to represent yourself? You want to hire a private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
A public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. All right. Like I said, I'm going to split the baby a little. I'll go ahead and find probable cause, but set the bond at $500. You'll be back in court, Maria, on the 27th of December. When you get out, make sure you go see the public defender, okay? It's very important that they talk to you right away.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Eric Grady. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
May 3rd, 1973.
Eric, the charge is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire a private counsel? Or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
No history that I can tell, Your Honor. Maybe some out-of-state stuff, but nothing that I see an adjudication on.
Eric, I've got an address for you on Bishop Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's correct.
How long you been there?
10 months.
Right. You have a job these days?
I'm working for myself. I just moved down from Massachusetts.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I bought a house and I'm rehabbing.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 20th of December. When you get out, make sure you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Joshua Lane.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Joshua. What's your date of birth?
5875.
Joshua, you get 2 charges today, leaving the scene of an accident and and what? Driving
No
without a
valid,
valid.
yeah.
It's no valid. That's what it is. It's not even in the affidavit. There's probable cause for the 2 charges, Joshua. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
I'm not sure. We'll just say represent myself at this time, sir.
Okay. And State?
I don't see any history, Your Honor. There's a big thick packet here, but I don't see any actual adjudications of anything.
And Joshua, I have an address for you on Maltby Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That is correct.
How long you been there?
About a year and 2 months.
Do you have a job these days?
I work for myself. I do auto repair and electronics repair.
All right. Joshua will release you on your own recognizance this morning, so they're going to let you out today. You'll be back in court on the 20th of December for your arraignment, okay?
That is the best thing I've heard in about a year, sir. Thank you very much.
Happy I could yep. He's got open cases?
Yes.
I didn't see those on the history, but.
I have case numbers.
Okay.
I'm not sure what court date.
Where is he set now?
Okay, he has a pretrial on 12/21 with you, with Willis, and that's 17 CT 3296. And then he has a status check on 12/5 with you, possession of current and EWLSR.
Okay. Okay, let's send everything. Well, is Mr. Lane gone already?
Yes.
There he is.
Yes, sir.
Joshua, I'm going to have all of your cases. You've apparently got some open cases. I'm going to have everything back on the 21st of December, all right? Whatever dates you've got before, everything's coming back December 21st, all right?
I understand, sir.
Very good.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, does he have the PD on those cases? Do you know?
He wouldn't on the 12-5 case, but he probably does.
Okay. It's alright. We'll find out. We don't need to waste time right now. Thank you.
Prinz Morgan. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
May 14th, 89.
So we've got a warrant for you out of Sumter County. Judge that issued the warrant found probable cause for a burglary and set your bond at $5,000. I can't change that. If you can post that bond, you can get out of jail here, go over to Bushnell, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post the bond, I'll give them 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 with Sumter. But if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Wayne Osgood.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/14/59.
Wayne, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State what Keith tells me.
Only history is from the 1980s, Judge, if you're interested. No batteries.
No. Okay.
Out of state, also.
If Wayne is like me, he wants to forget the 1980s.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Wayne, I've got an address for you on Bluffview Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
10 years.
William lives there as well?
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
I'm on disability.
All right, Wayne, I'm going to set your bond at $50. However, a condition of the bond is that you have no contact with William. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Can you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Unfortunately, I also have to hold you until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction, we'd know where to find you. And then finally, as far as that Bluffview address goes, as long as his charge is pending and he stays there, you'll have to go someplace else. You can't go by one time to collect your things, but contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 20th of December. Make sure you check in with the PD when you get out, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. David, stay. Morning, David. What's your date of birth?
Sir. 7/21/88.
All right, David, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date to the 18th of December. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bradley Street. Morning, Bradley. What's your date of birth?
5/15/86.
I have 2 counts, Bradley. I've got forgery of a check and uttering a forged check. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I have a public defender, Alexander.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, we're on the 12/18 docket. It's similar charges, similar time frame. Just ask that you keep the bonds at the schedule and put it on 12/18 as well.
Okay. This isn't a RCO situation?
I don't believe so.
Sometime in the past?
They all occurred around the same time back in October.
Okay. Yeah, sure enough. Okay. Has he bonded out since then?
No, he has not.
Oh, so he's been in
Yes.
continuously anyway. Okay. And so 12/18?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Street, I'll appoint the public defender. It sounds like Mr. Alexander will have these as well. I'll leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 each, and move these to the 18th of December where your other charges are, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Rene Vidal Perez.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/11/79.
Got 2 charges this morning. I got driving on a suspended license and having no valid registration. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
All right. And Renee, I've got an address for you on Ingleside Drive in Port Richey. Is that where you live?
Correct, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 8 months.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I am a barber instructor.
Okay. I'm sorry, Renee, but you're a guy with no hair on his head and you're a barber.
Yes, that is correct.
Very good. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on both counts, Renee, so they'll let you out today. Have you back in court on the 20th of December. Make sure you go see the public defender when you get out, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Eddie Warren. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
5/14/61.
Very good. Charge is battery, being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender? I'll appoint the public defender, state.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, he's got trespasses from the 90s, a battery from 1991 with an adjudication of guilt, so that's something. Possession of cocaine, paraphernalia, several of those from the 90s. Doesn't appear to have too much recent history, though, Judge.
And Eddie, I've got an address for you on Jacobson Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, but which one you have?
I got 22497.
Okay.
That's where you live?
That's where I live. It happened at,
All right. And does Brianna live there too?
no, she live just up the road.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Disability.
Okay.
Disabled.
Eddie, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with Brianna. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes. Sir, I have my computer there too. I need my computer.
At Jacobson Road.
It's in 22511 Jake where Brianna stay.
He needs his computer from
I have a computer that I bought from my mom but she
From the
passed
victim's
away.
residence.
So I want to get my computer from there.
Okay. Is Brianna going to have a different idea about whose computer it is?
Yeah, she's gonna have a different. She done took it out the front room and put it in the room somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get involved in that this morning. Because you're telling me that you live in one place and she lives in the other, so I'm not telling you can't. I'm not telling you can't go back to that Jacobson Road address. I'm just telling you can't have contact with Brianna, and I'm not going to get involved in the dispute over the computer here this morning without her here. Okay?
Might I say something?
Sure.
That's my father's land. I do all the work there.
Judge, can I address him for a minute?
Sure.
Mr. Warren, this is Josh Alexander from the PD's office. Do you plan on bonding out today?
I'm gonna try to.
Okay, if you bond out, you need to call us immediately and get in touch with one of the attorneys in the office. We'll give you some advice on what you can and can't do. If you don't bond out, we're going to have our jail investigator out see you within the next day or two, and he'll give you the same advice, okay? But I would advise you not to try and get the computer until you speak to somebody from our office first, okay?
I'm not gonna try to do that. I'm not gonna try to do it.
Okay.
But she already took it off the living room and put it in her room.
Okay. Anyway, I gotta also hold you till 4 p.m. We'll have you back in court on the 20th of December. And like Mr. Alexander just said, if you get out, make sure you get right to the public defender's office so you can speak to them. They'll help you out, all right?
Okay. Thank you.
Robert Mellon? Morning, Robert. What's your date of birth?
6/9/81.
Robert, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on a felony driving on a suspended and a no registration. He set your bond at no bond, so I can't change those. Did you have a lawyer on these cases, Robert?
Yes, sir.
Was it a public defender or a private lawyer?
I think I got a private lawyer.
Okay. Do you remember the name?
It's Scott Tremblay.
Okay. Do you plan to continue with Mr. Tremblay?
I do. I need to get a hold of my mother, but that's what I believe.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to hold you on no bond on these. We're going to send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 27th of December, so make sure you get a hold of somebody that gets a hold of Mr. Tremblay right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Kyle Ott?
Morning, John.
Morning, Mr. Ott. What's your date of birth?
July 27th, 1992.
Kyle, I've got possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia. There's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State, what can you tell me?
Is a cultivation of marijuana from 2013 with a withhold and a fraudulent use of credit card from 2015 with a disposition of guilt.
Okay. And Kyle, got an address for you on Amanda Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
11 years.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for Hudson Heating and Cooling.
Okay.
Doing AC, commercial AC work.
Set your bond at $500 on each count. The total's $1,000. I'll have you back in court on December 20th. Make sure you go see the PD when you get out, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And that should be that, right? Thank you, folks.